Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. And Boxing and Sports, you know what, man? Forget all the intro. Gervonta Davis decides if you win rounds or you don't. Simple. Big discussion took place on a YouTube short that I did. And I was surprised because what I said in that YouTube short is that Shakur Stevenson had the skill. It didn't mean Gervonta doesn't have skill, but skill-wise, I think the edge will go to Shakur. But Gervonta does have skill. But I said when it comes to power, there's no argument there that Gervonta has the power. I said, but my thing, the person who would win that fight would be the person who has the better IQ. And I said, well, who has the better IQ? And let me tell you something. 95% of people who responded to that video said Tank has the better IQ. And they said a lot. A couple of things that really stuck out to me was they were like, Tank, his IQ is so high, he makes his opponent think they're having success. And then he comes and he just knocks him out. Like, he basically does what I said. He'll give you rounds, but he'll make you believe that you're the one by your own effort is out here taking rounds from Tank, and that's not what's happening. So I agree with that. Ain't nobody messing with Tank and his IQ. They talked about the fact he started boxing at a young age, and even I mentioned that Tank. What it seems to me that everything he learned from a little boy, from the direction, from the sparring, from every amateur bout, professional bout, from anyone he's come in contact with, he's been able to retain it. You know, sometimes you learn a lot of things and then some things you forget. He like Floyd Mayweather, has retained 100% of everything that he's ever learned. And as a result, that makes him a dangerous, dangerous fighter. But that being said, right, going forward, when you really sit back and take a look at Tank, who's 30-0, who at 135 is going to give him a problem? Now, if you didn't know, man, as of 24 June, 2 days ago, they've updated the rack and stack out here on my favorite website, Box Live. And you take a look at what they have now. They have Gervonta at number one. Finally put him beyond Lomachenko. Lomachenko never should have been holding on to that number one spot. That shit was ridiculous. But now you got Tank at number one, Lomachenko at number two. I still think that's a little bit crazy, but then you got Zepeda at number three, Shakur Stevenson at number four. Then you got Baranchek at number five, Muratalla at six, Frank Martin at seven, Keyshawn Davis at eight, and you got Chamberlain and Abdullah, right? When you take a look at this racking stack for 135, and I ask myself, right, which one of these fighters can take rounds from Tank, opposed to Tank giving them rounds? He's about to fight Lomachenko. I see there's a concentric few that genuinely feel Lomachenko is going to take rounds from Tank and go on to get a victory. I've seen, out of this concentric few, that small pool of boxing fans, there are a couple that think Lomachenko is going to knock out Gervonta Tank Davis. To that I say, hey, McNicholas, hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. How in the world have we concluded that Lomachenko is going to put the Ukrainian bing-bings on Gervonta? Hey, yo, And hold your horses. And let's not take it to the stupid. Now, I do think Lomachenko deserves credit for being an amazing amateur, man. The man, 400-something wins, 1 loss. He was damn near 30 years old, kicking 16-year-olds' asses. He deserves credit. That record is no joke as an amateur, but as a pro, because he wanted to sit there and bully the kids, which isn't nice. He turned pro too late, man, and as a result, his prime came and went. And now he's here with barely any wins. And what's up, little man? Okay. So now he's here with barely any wins. And he will never accomplish his dream of becoming undisputed. But that being said, that's not enough to get in there and beat Tank Davis. Will he fight hard? Yes. Will he be the first one to take rounds from Tank? I don't know. Because the thing is, right, if Gervonta Davis, he is going to step to Lomachenko. Gervonta has a chin, man, and he's got power, and he's got speed, and he's got IQ. He's the complete package, man. Lomachenko is not as complete as Tank. Tank is in his prime, and I just don't feel Tank is going to get in there and do Lomachenko like he did Frank Martin. You got to remember, Tank sparred Frank Martin. He knew that Martin could hurt him because he hit him with a good shot in sparring. Tank was playing around, and Martin got his respect with the quickness. But with Tank and Lomachenko, don't expect Tank to come in there and give him rounds. Expect Tank to come in there and make a statement. Just like when you see Deontay Wilder, for him to get knocked out, for Big Baby Miller to get knocked out, Anthony Joshua get knocked out. It's like when you see guys get knocked out who you really aren't, it's not something that you expected. It really does something for the opponent. And when I talk about making a statement, you want to know what's making a statement? You remember when Deontay Wilder fought Stavern in the rematch, and he almost killed him? That's what you call making a statement. When Wilder fought Brazil, that's making a statement. You know what I'm saying? When you see a fighter be able to come out and do that, it gets people's attention. And if Tank comes out now and he knocks out Lomachenko, that's going to make a statement. Crawford knocking out Earl Spence, that made a statement. If Crawford goes up there and then this guy, Madrimov, knocks out Crawford, he makes a statement. So again, I think Tank is going to make a statement here with Lomachenko. But nonetheless, when you scroll down, you take a look at the rack and stack. Baranchek, this is as of 20 June. Look at what we got here, people. You got William Zepeda, 30-0. He looks to be in the number 1 position. Mandatory is what he should be for Baranchek. But you see they got him here as a mandatory to Lomachenko. So if whoever wins between Gervonta and Lomachenko, they're going to have to fight Zepeda. Because Zepeda is a mandatory here in the WBA. But then, so he's not the mandatory for the WBO and WBC. They just got him ranked number 1. But they got him the mandatory to the winner of Tank and Lomachenko. And the reason they have him there as the mandatory in those 2 positions is because Tank and Loma are fighting. So whoever wins between Tank and Loma, they're going to fight Zepeda. And let me tell you, Zepeda can scrap. But when you take a look at the rack and stacks, man, this is very, very interesting because Tank is trying. He may have to pay some step-aside money if he wants to fight Shakir or if he wants to scrap with Baranchek. But what I would really like to see is Tank fight Lomachenko, then Shakir fight Baranchek, and then the winners come together and we have undisputed. But it looks like the secret society going to get a little involved and throw a wrench in it by making sure Zepeda gets his opportunity. And then maybe Keyshawn Davis, who by the IBF is now ranked number 3. So if Zepeda is gonna fight the winner of Tank and Lomachenko, then Keyshawn is 3 here. Then you got Muratalla or Keyshawn to fight the WBO. Yeah, it's gonna be so. So. This is what could happen. Keyshawn Davis and Muratalla, one of them could be fighting for the WBO and the WBC, while Zepeda is fighting the winner of Gervonta and Lomachenko. And that would really take care of William Zepeda, Muratalla, Keyshawn Davis. Because if you look at the WBO, the number 1 rank is Zepeda, then 2 is Muratalla, 3 is Keyshawn. If Zepeda fights for the WBO, WBA, and IBF, he's out of there. Then you come to the IBF, you got Zepeda, he'd be out of there already. Keyshawn Davis and Muratalla. You come to the WBC, Zepeda would be out of there, probably fighting for the IBF or WBA. Then Muratalla is there. So then Muratalla would have to fight for the WBC strap. And then you come over here to the WBO again, and Muratalla be busy with the WBC. He's ranked number 2. And for the WBO, the number 3 be Keyshawn Davis. So Keyshawn Davis could end up fighting Baranchek. He's either fighting the WBO or WBC. Then Muratalla is gonna, he and Muratalla, you can kind of swap them out. But when you take a look at that, it's pretty interesting. So, like Daniel Dubois likes to say, big time boxing, baby, big time boxing. Yeah, this shit really is big time boxing going on. So we could, in the next 1 year, because Tank is fighting them now. Tank will become unified this year. September. By the end of the year, depending on how the secret society works it out, you could see Shakir fight Baranchek by the end of the year. They may pay Zepeda some step-aside money. Make that unification. If Shakir goes over with Eddie Hearn, they're going to make that fight. So you could have where by the end of the year, Shakir Stevenson and Baranchek fight, and maybe Shakir beats him, right? Let's just assume Shakir wins. Then you could have by the end of the year, Gervonta and Lomachenko, you'll have a winner. So then you could have going into next year, Tank and Shakir, if both of them win, fighting for undisputed. Or you could get a wrench thrown in it. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on if these sanction bodies want to work with them. But if there's an opportunity to make undisputed, you would think they would want that. And in my opinion, Gervonta Davis will come out on top. That's just my opinion. This conversation about Lomachenko is going to stay in the pocket and slip Tank's punches, and he's going to get out of the way of Tank's shots. Man, because of how Tank fights, let me tell you something. Every opponent that Gervonta Davis fights, he fights them different. It's not a cookie cutter style of fighting. He gets in the ring, they have a game plan, he sticks to the game plan. And while he's in there, he's making adjustments on the fly. Man been boxing since he's been 7 years old. So he knows what he's doing. And you just see the separation between Tank and his opponents. By the time you get to round 5 and 6, you can see it. And as the fight goes on, you can just see Tank is just in there, become like the mad scientist. You know what I mean? He's just in there breaking shit down. And he eventually gets his knockout. But I do think when Tank fights Lomachenko, I think you're going to break him down. I think within 3 rounds, Tank can knock him out. Unless Lomachenko, feels that power and says, okay, feet don't fail me now. And he starts hauling ass around that ring because he ain't going to like that shit. But it's going to be interesting. Loma got that style, man. He's nothing but a small Usyk. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I just don't see Loma being able to do Tank like he did Kambosos. Even I think y'all gonna see Loma coming in and give away rounds. I think Loma gonna give away rounds because he's gonna know not to get stupid in there because of what Tank brings in that ring. But outside of Lomachenko, every other fighter that Tank's gonna fight, they lose the fight before they even get in the ring. He intimidates them. You know what I'm saying? mind games, man. He got that. He's got that down to a science. So if you've already lost a fight before you get in the ring, you don't stand a chance. You know what I'm saying? You really don't stand a chance. And I'm being fair to all those fighters. When we come back and we take a look at this right here, right? You take a look at Lomachenko. I don't think Lomachenko will be intimidated. I don't. But at the same time, he's thinking about, if this man hit me with some shit, I'm out of here. Zepeda, I don't think he's intimidated. He just don't seem to care about nothing. Stevenson can talk the talk, but I don't think he can really walk the walk. I think he's going to be worried about Tank. Because you sit back and you keep watching somebody get their ass knocking people out, you can't help but worry. Baranchek is one of the few who don't care about nothing. That man's crazy. And as a result, that'll be his downfall. Heart too big. And what they say, the bigger the heart, the harder they fall, right? He's going to come crashing to that canvas. Muratalla is another one, man, who's brave, but Tank will destroy him. He already put the bing-bings on Martin. Keyshawn Davis is a good talker. Bomac's doing a great job with him. But Keyshawn Davis don't stand a chance against Tank. He need to be figuring out the Andy Cruz problems that he still has. Chamberlain's a good fighter, but he don't stand a chance against Tank. And Abdullah, he's all right. But the bottom line is, all these guys, they can say what they want. But when you look at all these fighters here, there's only one, in my opinion, who stands out. Was two as a real threat. Davis and Zepeda. And the rest of them there's really nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? All great fighters, but there ain't nothing about them for me to say, to want to put money on. But that damn Davis and Zepeda, them two guys are a problem. Anyway, man, Gervonta Davis decides if you win rounds or not. You don't just come in there and steal rounds and to go back to your corner and think, yeah, I got him right where I want him. This is just what I want to do here. All right, good. You make that mistake and then you come out there in round 5 or 6. Think that now you're going to walk him down and put the bing-bings on him and then he hits you with some shit and sends you up there, man, to the goddamn nosebleed seats, you know what I'm saying? And you embarrassed because you face down ass up like Devin Haney, man. That's when you'll realize, okay, I should have held my horses. I took it to the stupid. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents, man. Gervonta Davis. He decides if you win rounds or not. And if he wants to step to you from the first round, I'm sure he could end the fight in the first round. He's that special of a fighter with that kind of power. He just has patience. He has discipline. He has freakish power. And those are qualities that you just can't teach some boxers. To be calm, to be at ease, cool under pressure, because he knows if he touches you, you're in trouble. And when you got that kind of confidence and all the other intangibles, I'm telling you, hard to beat somebody like that. Unless you can catch him. But he got a good chin too. So again, you ain't stealing no rounds from Gervonta. He gives you rounds in the breeze.